Greetings folks, hopefully not much longer now until we get a release date for the Final Fantasy VIII Remaster. Today I want to talk about the Great Hyne. Now if you're not familiar with the Great Hyne, don't worry about it, it is only spoken of a few times during the game. In a nutshell then, the Great Hyne was a deity-like being in Final Fantasy VIII that actually created mankind. But here's the thing, the lore behind Hyne is actually quite hilarious, and I get the impression that the writers wrote its backstory after having a good night out. Perhaps they'd eaten too much junk food or something. But they kind of get away with it because in-game the lore about Hyne is generally presented as legend more than anything else, but still it is all that we have in terms of information about this great being, so it's kind of take it or leave it type thing. We can first learn about Hyne by speaking to a man in Balam Town, and he has his child with him. So once we do speak to him, we get told that long ago, when this world was just made, there was a strong god called Hyne. This god was very strong, but after fighting a lot of monsters he became very tired. So he made people like you and me to do all the work, and then the god went to sleep. So first of all, you kind of get the impression that this deity is more of a deity as we might expect from, say, the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Thor. Kind of like a deity to those that are weaker than itself, but not really a deity in the truest sense of the word, just a stronger being than normal humans. Anyway, let's continue on. Why he was having to fight monsters we don't know, but he was. He got tired from doing this, so made mankind in order to do the dirty work for him. Once making a few creatures, he himself went to sleep and had a well-earned nap. The dialogue continues. However, the god was very surprised when he awoke, surprised that there were so many people. Hyne decided to reduce the number of people by taking away the children. So yep, apparently Hyne wakes up, sees that the humans have multiplied, who'd have thought, is quite surprised by this, fairly dismayed, and decides the best thing to do is to go ahead and murder all the children, and he does so by burning them. And surprise surprise, the parents, families, and just generally mankind in general were not best pleased about this and decided to rebel against Hyne. Later on, when you reach the White Seed ship on disc 3, you can actually go ahead and pick up some more information about Hyne from a teacher on the ship that's speaking to the children there, and the teacher is reading the book The Legend of Vascaroon, and Vascaroon was a wise man, which is also incorporated into this legend. But I love the way that this particular legend starts. We read, once upon a time, there was a person named Hyne. Hyne was the ruler of the world. He became lazy and decided to make a tool to make his life easier. Hyne made a neat tool. His tool could make more tools by itself. So there were a lot of tools in the world. Oh, I know that feeling. These tools were actually people. And this particular book goes on to tell us that eventually, once humans rebel against Hyne, Hyne gets tired of fighting and so offers to come to a truce by giving them some of his power. Incidentally, it's this power that Hyne gives to humanity that actually leads to the creation of the sorceresses. At least the initial wave of sorceresses, and then those would actually pass their powers on to the next generation, and this process could be repeated down to the current age. Now, even though these particular stories of Hyne are presented as legend really, the actual game's writer Katsushige Nojima did give us a story in the Ultimania Omega which pretty much confirms that all of these things did actually happen, i.e. this guy Hyne was a being, a powerful being that existed long ago and was also a little bit lazy. But he wasn't really a god in the sense of the word that uses a capital G. He was more of a lesser deity, though he did create the actual world, so he was very powerful indeed. Now, I mentioned that in order to come to a kind of ceasefire, Hyne bargained with the humans by giving them some of his own power. And he did this quite bizarrely. He actually gave them half of his body. Now, the other half of his body is in an unknown location. Even to this day, nobody knows where the rest of Hyne is, or if he is even still alive. Though, seeing as how we know he's quite an idle fella, he probably is still alive and he's just chilling, can't be bothered to get involved in the affairs of the world. But anyway, I thought that Hyne was both an interesting and quite bizarre creation of the writers of Final Fantasy VIII, and just wanted to share that with you. Well guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please don't forget to support me by leaving a like and subscribing to the YouTube channel. Big thanks as always to those who support me on Patreon and or YouTube membership. Links in the description if you want to find out how you can do that yourself and have your name credited in future videos. That's it for me for today though guys. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.